Every time you check your bank balance on your phone, there's this entire universe of data that moves behind the scenes, all in just a fraction of a second. We're going to pull back the curtain on the huge but kind of invisible revolution that makes it all possible. We're talking about API banking.
It really all starts with these simple everyday actions, right? A quick tap to see what's in your account, a swipe to send some cash to a friend. These moves are basically second nature now, just a part of our daily routine. They feel completely effortless, instantaneous.
I mean, really think about it. How does that budgeting app on your phone know exactly what you spent on coffee this morning? How are you paying for groceries with just a wave of your phone without ever pulling out a credit card? Well, the answer to all of that is this incredibly powerful tech shift that completely redrew the map for the world of finance.
To really wrap our heads around this revolution, first we've got to understand the problem it was built to solve. We need to rewind a bit, back to a time when banking was a totally different beast, and see how we got from this closed-off vault to a wide-open network.
Okay, so check out this contrast. For decades, legacy banking systems were built like digital vaults. I mean, sure, they were super secure, but they were also rigid, they were siloed, and boy were they slow. Your data was locked inside one bank, and that was that. But the world we live in now, it demands the exact opposite. We expect services that are connected, that are instantly accessible, and that all play nice together. A vault just wasn't going to cut it.
So here's the million-dollar question. How do you get data out of a vault without just knocking down the walls and compromising all that security? Well, you need a special kind of key. Or maybe a better way to think about it is a secure bridge. And in the world of software, that bridge has a name, the API. And listen, this isn't just a clever metaphor. Traditional banks really did build their core systems to be fortresses. I mean, their entire design philosophy was about keeping people out. So the huge challenge for the digital age was figuring out, okay, how do we let the right information get out to the right apps at exactly the right time without compromising the whole structure? And that's where the API, the Application Programming Interface, comes in. It's such a brilliant solution. Just think of it like a highly disciplined, super secure messenger. It allows one piece of software, let's say your budgeting app, to make a very specific, totally secure request to another piece of software, like your bank's main system, and get a very specific, totally secure answer right back. It's not a free-for-all, it's a very controlled, very polite conversation between computers.
All right, so we've got a handle on what an API is. Now let's zoom in, weigh in, and see what's actually happening in those few moments right after you tap your screen.
It all boils down to this simple four-step dance. Number 1, your app sends a request through the API. 2, the API basically acts like a bouncer at a club, authenticating the request to make sure it's legit. 3, once it gets the green light, it zips into the bank's database and fetches the exact data it needs. And finally, number 4, the API delivers that data right back to your app's screen.
And the craziest part? That whole thing? The request, the security check, digging through the database, the response, it all happens in the blink of an eye. We are literally talking about milliseconds. It's an incredibly complex chain of events that is designed to feel completely and utterly seamless to you.
And this right here, this is the bedrock of modern digital finance. Every single time you check your balance, or you move some money, or you scroll through your transaction history, or get one of those bill payment alerts, what you're seeing is one of these API calls in action. It's the engine humming away behind almost every financial thing you do on your phone. Now, this technology was amazing, but let's be real, banks weren't exactly lining up to throw open their vaults. They needed a little push, and that push came from this massive regulatory and philosophical shift called open banking. This is what really opened the floodgates. This is the absolute key right here. Laws like the famous PSD2 regulation over in Europe, they essentially forced banks' hands. They mandated that banks had to build these secure API bridges. It cemented this idea that your financial data, it belongs to you. And if you give your consent, you should be able to share it. This just unlocked a tidal wave of innovation from all these new fintech companies who suddenly had a secure, standardized way to connect to your bank account. And when you look at this timeline, you can just see the incredible acceleration. We went from these clunky web portals to some pretty basic mobile apps. But the 2010s, when API platforms really hit the scene, man, that was the true game changer. It paved the entire road for what we have today, this world of embedded finance, where banking services can just pop up anywhere, not just inside your official banking app.
So, what does this all add up to? What's the real-world impact of banking shifting from being a place you go to just a service you use? Well, it's created a completely new financial world.
The way banks work today has fundamentally changed. Their toolkit isn't just about physical vaults and bank tellers anymore. Now it's about API gateways to manage all that data traffic, developer portals to invite innovators in, and these sandbox environments where new ideas can be tested out safely. Basically, they've gone from being gatekeepers to being platforms.
And this shift gives rise to this amazing concept, banking as a service, or BaaS for short. It's this idea that pretty much any company can integrate financial services directly into their own products. You know, when you buy a couch online and the store offers you a payment plan right there at checkout, that's BaaS in action. Banking is no longer a destination. It's a utility, like electricity, that you can just plug into whatever you're building.
And this is probably the most important takeaway of all. APIs did way more than just modernize banking. They broke it down into its core pieces: checking a balance, sending money, getting a history. They modularized it. They turned banking into a set of building blocks, like Legos, that anyone can use to build something totally new.
I love this quote because it just brings everything together so perfectly. That simple, thoughtless tap on your phone is directly connected to this deeply technical process, a database query, packaged up neatly and sent racing securely across the internet. It's the incredible hidden machinery of our modern financial lives.
And, that really brings us to the most exciting part of all this. We've watched banking transform from a vault to a platform to a set of modular services. So now that these fundamental building blocks are out there for innovators to use, the question isn't really what banking is anymore, it's what can we build with it? What comes next?